All right, so number 3 in the chapter 8 topic section, write an equation of a sinusoidal. Don't be fooled, it doesn't have to be sine, it can be sine or cosine, so don't misinterpret the instructions. Maximum 0.25, so 2,5, midline, the thing that cuts the sinusoid in half, is at y equals 2. I've got that all drawn here. And a period of 5. Now we're going to take advantage of that to find b. So period equals 2 pi all over b. We're going to multiply by b. Hopefully you're getting the gist of this. You're seeing it more and more. So 5b, there goes my pencil, equals 2 pi, divide by 5, divide by 5, and I get b is 2 pi all over 5. Okay. Let's put stuff where it belongs now. If this is the midline and this is the peak, that's telling you that the amplitude is 3. And it also is telling you, well, let's go ahead and put this together. So y equals, and we know the amplitude is 3. I'm going to take advantage of cosine. Think of it like this. I know that it's been bumped over 2 units, the peak of it. So I know, and I know that my b is 2 pi over 5, so I'm going to put things where they belong now. And here we go. Put it in there, 2 pi all over 5, x minus 2. And then this whole graph has been bumped up 2 because that's the midline. So that's plus 2. So in this particular case, you don't really need the entire drawing. You've got all the clues right in front of you. Okay, let's get all set for number 4. Okay, so here's the general drawing. When you board a Ferris wheel, your feet are 1 foot off the ground. So 0 seconds have gone by, and your feet are dangling at 1 foot off the ground. At the highest point of the ride, you're 99 feet above the ground. It takes 30 seconds for the ride to complete 1 full revolution. So after 30 seconds, your feet are back at 1 foot above the ground. So halfway would be 15 seconds, and that would be 99. So there's your generic drawing. Now let's put things together now. That's called our midline. We've got to do some thinking here. If this is up 1 and this is up 99, the whole width there is 98. So half of that would be 49. And so now bits and pieces are starting to come together here. And again, we're going to use cosine, knowing that the peak of cosine has been moved over 15. So we can start building now. Y equals, there's the amplitude, 49, cosine. I'm going to leave this space for b. I know that's coming. I know it's been moved to the right 15. And I also know the midline tells me how high this entire graph's been bumped. Well, that went up 1 and then up another 49. 49 from here to here. So that's a total of 50. Now to find b, I got to calculate my period, which is 30. It takes 30 seconds. So 30 equals 2 pi all over b, multiply by b, cancel, multiply this side by b. So 30b equals 2 pi, divide by 30, divide by 30. I'm going to reduce that to pi over 15. And I'm going to put that right here. Now there's my answer for part A, because it asks for what's the trigonometric equation for your height above the ground, t seconds. I'm using x instead of t, but that's the same thing. So let's move. So there's my answer to part A. The other thing I can do if I want is tweak this just a little bit. That is actually 0.209 x minus 15 plus 50. If you like that better, that's probably what I would end up doing. And now we can move on to the next question. It says, find the first 2 times you're exactly 90 feet above the ground. That means this is your height. So part B, they're just saying let 90 be your height, and then solve for x. Now this gets a little tricky. I'm going to use this 0.209 here. x minus 15. I could have distributed it through already, but I decided not to. So now we need to solve for x. Now this gets tricky. So what should I do first? Well, there's the low-hanging fruit. Let's go ahead and get rid of that 50. So 90 minus 50 is 40. Clean this up a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and replace this crazy looking thing with something a lot more simple, because you'll see what I'm going to do with that in a second. I'm going to find that, and once I find that, I'm going to set it equal to this, because that's what I replaced it with. So it's a little trick of substitution just to make my life simple. Divide both sides by 49. I'm going to crank that out. 40 divided by 49 is 0.816. So 0.816 equals cosine of theta. Now I need to do this little trickeration to actually find theta. And so here we go. And remember, guys, when we have this situation, 0, 15, 30, we need to make sure our calculator's in radians, and it's not. That would have been a disaster. So there's my radians. And here we go. Second cosine 0.816. And we get our zip code, or our area code, I mean. So 0.616 equals theta. That's going to be really helpful, because here we go. What do we say? Well, I replaced all of this with that. Now that means this equals this, and we're going to find x. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to go 0.616. This thing equals this, so this has to equal that stuff. I'm going to distribute this through, and 0.209x minus this ends up being, and if you look at it this way, if you multiply that by that, the 15s cancel, so you end up with just pi, or 0.209 times 15 is just 3.14, believe it or not. And here we go, add 3.14, 3.14, add this together, and there we go, equals 0.209x. I'm going to divide by 0.209, divide by 0.209, grab my calculator, 3.756 divided by 0.209, hopefully I'm hitting the buttons right, and I get 17.97, so x is 17.97 seconds. Now I'm going to go ahead and round that, because that's awfully close to 18, and it's going to make our life a lot easier. So if we go back to our picture, or actually to the question, it says, what are the first 2 times your 90 feet? Well, the first thing we found was this, 18 seconds. So if we go over here, 15 seconds, 99, we go like 16, 17, 18, somewhere in there would be 18 seconds, 90 feet. Well, that's 3 seconds this way, which means if I go 3 seconds back from 15, that'd be 12.90. And so my first 2 times are 12 seconds and 18 seconds with a little help from rounding. All right, we'll answer the last question in 2 seconds. Okay, last question. What will your height be after 14 seconds? That's just saying let t, which I've used x, be 14. So plug that in and solve for height. So we're going to take that 14, put it here or here. I'm going to choose this one, and that will help us find y, and y represents our height. So here we go. I'm going to transfer it down here. So I'm going to get y equals 49 times cosine 0.209, 14 minus 15 plus 50. So we're just going to crank all of this out. So the first thing we're going to do is look at this, PEMDAS, that's -1. -1 times 0.209. I get cosine of -0.209. Remember, there's a 49 here and a 50 here. So here we go. We're in radians, which is good. So cosine of -0.209. Don't use that subtraction button for negatives. Use that little minus there. It makes a big difference. Your calculator's not going to like it if you do it the other way. So I get so this is 0.978. So I'm going to take that and multiply that by 49. And then, so that's what this is. It's 47.973. So I'm going to add 50. And my height after 14 seconds is 97.93 feet. If we take a look at our picture, see if it makes sense. 15 seconds is 99. 14 seconds would be somewhere in here. And it says 97, which is almost 98 feet, which makes a lot of sense. You're really close to 99. So that's the height after 14 seconds. That's it, guys, for number 3 and 4. We're going to stop the video right there.